The way the economy of Nigeria is, jobs are becoming scarce and appetites are increasing by the day. If you don't have a skill or means of making an extra income without depending on the government, you are wrong. With the rise of young entrepreneurs in our country, we can remain hopeful and encouraged by their stories and implement practical lessons learned from them. We are here again with turning your skill into cash. Entrepreneurship Hour. Don't go anywhere.
This is the viewers. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Process. Yes, Triple TV, and I'm your host for Mail Events. And I'm excited to have you in the studio, Mr. Olabi Odunson, the CEO of Blessed Restaurant. Welcome to the show, sir. Alright, so it's another edition of our show where we discuss how you can convert your ideas into making money and how you can touch lives in the community while also making profit. That's it. And so today we're discussing about the entrepreneurial process. So Mr. Olabi, the entrepreneurial process is the stages involved in the entrepreneur's life from the idea generation to the growth stage. And some people have summarized these stages to be five. And I'll be discussing, I'll mention this five first before we go proper into our discussion. So the first stage is the idea generation. The second stage is that of the opportunity evaluation. And the third stage is the planning. And the fourth stage is the complete formation, whilst the fifth one involves the growth stage. All right, so back to you, Mr. Olabi. Let's talk about idea generation. What would you say about idea generation business? How important is the first stage of the entrepreneurial process to an entrepreneur or an intending business person?
Thank you. Idea generation matters um in every business one want to embark on. Actually, if I have to open it better, because the idea runs everything someone would do. Like if you want to engage in business, if, for example, we are in this food business, you must have proper idea and putting it in action. That's the reality.
All right, thank you very much. So idea governs whatever you want to do in life. Without a proper idea, you may not be able to do anything meaningful. All right, so still on the idea generation, I mean, ideas, special ways of getting ideas. You know, for example, if you have a song, if you ask a songwriter now, how do you get your inspiration? Some will say maybe they were sleeping and they heard the voice in their sleep, write down these lyrics. So as a business person or an entrepreneur, how do you get your ideas? I mean, can your ideas be influenced by what you see around you, or could it be that you just hear a voice from everyone, write down these ideas? I mean, are all of those things possible?
Are you talking specifically on with me, or we
Yeah,
should
I'm
just
talking
look
about
at
you, and
it?
let's generalize it too. You can share your own experience too.
Okay, talking about the Blazer era, right?
Yes.
Ideas, how this came up was fine. Maybe I should just start from this sense. Ideas, you can get ideas with where you find yourself. Maybe by reading books, maybe the church you go to, where you travel to, things that you see around you that you can inspire, I think that motivates you, that you feel that you can do such. I think I've opened up
Of
something.
course.
All right. So when it comes to Blazing, I'll talk about Blazing. Blazing is not a thing um that happens anyhow. Actually, if I'm to come home, as in to come deep sense of me.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm sure viewers will know that.
When I got married, my wife has an experience of this cooking. In short, she has an experience. She has a what do I call it? That she sells food before. She has a maybe a shop or a hut that she sells food before. So later when she got married, we were like, oh, she's not going there. Then, then since the country that we find ourselves, and I happen to be working with some people, Indian people, and me, I'm a Christian. And then wherever you go, they will give you. There's the one festival they do, the English people do, that they will double pay you without no reason. They call it festival or something, something. Then I discovered that Daniel was in Babylon, but he never eats the king's meal. And I keep crying to God that God, please, this thing will no, I don't like it. And actually, for you to make it in where I work, you need to lie. And me being a child of God, it was in our command, thou shalt not lie. For example, if I want to go from Nigeria to Idimota, I'll be writing 30,000 naira, 15,000 naira. And my people do right. But when I go, at times I will not just ask. But they will not be feeling that, how do you go there? Because in a nutshell, you can usually use 15 naira then from Nigeria to Ireland
So
then.
if I get what you're saying now, it's just that your own idea generation starts with the experience your wife already has.
She has,
Because she
and
wasn't paying attention to it.
she wasn't paying.
You took the idea and you capitalized on it.
I didn't take the idea,
Okay.
but it was when I heard from God Himself
Okay.
that it was like, because when I told my wife, as a matter of fact, when I told my wife that this is what God is saying that I should go back to it, she said she's not
So
going.
that's to say that there should be divine intervention for idea generation.
Yes.
All right, so that's a beautiful one. From what we have said so far, you said that if you read books, books can influence your idea of, can influence you in generating ideas. Traveling also is part of experience, to say, and that can also influence you generating ideas, as well as the association you mingle with. Even when you go to a good church, the people you associate with in church could also influence your idea generation. All right, now that you've generated the idea, let's talk about this now. Is every idea worth banking on? I mean, is it just every idea that you have that you can come and put your money into?
Um, every ideas I would say it's worth banking on. Because why I will say that is that because you need to try before you can make head out of tail. If you don't try it, which one do you know that it will work? Unless you can hear from God Himself.
From what you're saying that you can build on every idea, but it has to be that there's a divine leading. God is guiding you. Because if you go and do whatever you want to do on your own without the Lord's leading, I mean, you are sure to flop at it. Right, so that will take us to our next question. Uh, now that you have your idea, you know that you can build on the idea. How do you get the capital for the idea? You know that most problem for most entrepreneurs out there is getting capital to start up their business, because everybody has an idea. Trust me, if you ask somebody walking on the street, ask them what you want to do. They have an idea of what they want to do. But when it comes to them getting funds, I mean, getting funding for that idea, it's always a challenge. Or maybe we should say it this way: tell us, how can we get funding for our ideas? Or you might probably want to share with us, how did you get funding for your own idea at the beginning?
Um, you see, the Bible said, "Don't despise little beginning." You don't need huge capital. If you have an idea, you know that you can run at, or let me say, if you have an idea, you can run on. You don't need huge capital, because in one way or the other, one way or the other, it will surely speak. Your enthusiasm will speak. Then it will allow you to do more, which will generate more capital for yourself. What I mean in that sense is that let's assume that you don't need to come, you don't need a palace to start. Maybe you want to start like this restaurant. You need a big place to start. For example, we started in a small shop. We started in a small net shop, not glass shop. Then from there we now move to a glass. Okay, the second stage was the glass one, and this is the third one. And however, we are still moving off this place also. So you need to start small. If at all it's 5 naira, no capital is small to start your idea running.
All right, so saying that you need to trust the process. You need to begin small, then build on it. I mean, from your own experience, starting from just a little place now, they are here today, and this is not even the permanent place. We're hoping to move to a bigger place later. And so, I mean, it's a good advice to entrepreneurs out there to also know that you don't have to envy that person who is doing it big now. I mean, if you ask them, they have a story to tell for it, because it started also from scratch and now they are here today. So I think it has to do with you trusting the process. Build small. You don't need to have that huge capital to start whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, start with the little capital that you have. Aside you starting small, I mean, would you say that, I mean, are there options of talking to friends or family, or would you say it's advisable for you to opt for the option of getting a loan to start up a business. Is that a good idea?
That you going for a loan to start the
Yes, yeah. Start
it's never a bad idea, but when there's nobody to help, you need to help yourself. If you see an assistant, well and good, but when there's no help, you need to help yourself.
I think so many of it is when there's no help, you have to help yourself. So we'll go on a short musical break. Please stay with us. I will be right back.
With the way the economy of Nigeria is, jobs are becoming scarce and appetites are increasing by the day. If you don't have a skill or means of making an extra income without depending on the government, you are wrong. With the rise of young entrepreneurs in our country, we can remain hopeful and encouraged by their stories and implement practical lessons learned from them. We are here again with Turning Your Skill into Cash, Entrepreneurship Hour. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back from that short musical break. I'm still on the show, Entrepreneurship Hour, and I'm still with Mr. Olani Odusin. Before we went to that musical break, the question was whether applying for a loan to start up a business was an option. And he said that's not a bad idea, as long as you're not getting the support you need from, let's say, people who are close to you. If that's the only option left, or it could be a good idea too, like that. All right, so the next question is, are there other sources where entrepreneurs can look to source for their funding? Are there other options they can look to?
There are so many options.
All right, let's discuss them.
There's this SME
Small,
or
medium enterprise.
loan,
Okay.
and there's this Tony Melu grant. There are so many.
Also, federal governments.
There's some federal government grants also.
For entrepreneurs. I think I
But
had one for university graduates of recent too, like that. All right, so you can look out too for grants online, apply for them. But should they fully rely on all of those grants?
um, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I mean, they shouldn't in the sense that the society that we are is not balanced. So because if you rely on it and they flop, you automatically your ideas are going to flop. So that if you put them in plan A, you can look for plan B. So to support yourself, you need, because you are doing it for yourself, you are not doing it for anybody. So if A flop, you can easily take on
I
B.
think the point is always have a plan B. As you're applying for grants, why not just save up? Like gather the little that you can. You can talk to friends, talk to them. You can talk to colleagues. I mean, let's talk about still on idea generating capital for funding. How about pitching your ideas to people who can invest in your business? I think it's a good idea to you have the idea, you know what you want to do, but you don't have the money. But you know people that have money and they'll be willing to invest in your business. I think it's a good idea to pitch your idea for people to come and invest in your business.
It's not a bad idea, but it's always the end of it is always rough because the other person being pushed to you will come at the end to steal the idea because you will not refer to the owner of the idea. That's why you see some people going to court today, going to court tomorrow. I own this idea. I wrote this thing. I wrote this song for you. You didn't pay me, and I was like, "This is me. Just assist me." It's not a good. It's good, and it's not good also.
All right. So, in as much as you want investors to come and invest in your ideas, always establish the contract.
Yes.
Yeah. Make the agreement plain. Get it on the paper. Sign the document so that tomorrow, when the idea booms out, and sometimes when you rush into getting investors for idea at the early stage, you may not even know your words at that time. By the time you start realizing your words, you've gone into the wrong contract. So it's better you calm down. Don't rush into getting investors at the early stage. Try and establish yourself a bit before you bring in investors, come and invest your business. And when you bring in investors, always get a contract. Yes, get a contract.
And in that, if I may add,
Okay.
before you talk to somebody about your idea, you must first get yourself, understand yourself, forecast the ideas that you want to put on the table for someone. So that at the end of it, you will not just go and dash out.
All right, that's a beautiful point. I mean, always see beyond where you are. I mean, look ahead. Just try and predict where you will be in the next 4 or 5 years. And then I think that would guide your idea of making the right decisions. But let's talk about conflict formation. You have the idea, you decided that this idea is what's banking on, and now you have gotten the funds ready for it, and you started the business. How do you manage the setup of your company? Like now you have to employ workers, you have to get people who would manage the affairs for you. How important is you getting people to manage those ideas for you? I mean,
Getting people to manage their ideas, as in to co-labor together, as to co-work together. Actually, in this environment, it's not always easy. It's not always easy because of one, they don't have the ideas and they don't want to run on your lane. They rather prefer when you are seeing the glory and you just want to snatch the glory. Not, you are not tapping this time around. You just want to carry everything that, oh, this is the glory, I want to pack it off.
but you need to can't do everything by yourself. You need people to
Actually, you can do. For someone to get likely minds in this area, it's not easy. But the little that you have, maybe the little you can see, you need to bring them on the table often and often. Telling them the stand of the company, telling them where we are going to, and telling them things they've done wrong that we need to tidy up.
Yeah, so I think in a nutshell, you need to get people who have like minds, people who share the same vision with you, people who understand where you're going, not just people who see just within now. I mean, people who see that you have a dream that you want to achieve. All right, so let's move on. And now that we have discussed all of these things, how can we ensure that in doing all of these things, would grow beyond where the company is now to a better place? Because you know that once you start a business, definitely you want to move to a greater place. You don't. Some people say you are moving to permanent sites. You don't want to remain stagnant. So what are the steps or what things can you do to ensure that your business will grow? What are the steps you can put in?
Actually, it's one of those things that we stated earlier. For any business to grow, you must work on yourself. You must develop. You must see beyond now. And also, you must, how will I put this now? You must go for all these seminars. All seminars are not true these days, but they are still reliable ones that can help you to grow. And you must read books also. And you must also wait on the Lord to hear what you will see.
I think those are important points. Go for seminars, attend trainings, go for master classes, then read books, and most importantly, well, hear from the Lord. Hear what the Lord has to say about your business, because without the Lord, there's nothing that you can achieve on your own. So it's important that you consider the God factor in whatever you do, because even as you run business, without God in your business, trust me, you won't move forward. And
Absolutely.
it is an example of a man who has tried the Lord and the Lord has done it for him like that. So you need to believe that the Lord will help you in doing what you're. I mean, a preacher once said that we are whatever we are by the grace of God. So without the Lord in your business, it's important for you to attain the success that you may attain. All right. So in the course of this discussion, we mentioned that if you still have your idea with you and you want to bring people in it, that it's possible they can see your idea. And so about that, let's talk about the ownership of your idea now. How important is it for you to make your business a legal entity? I'm talking about business registration. Do you think it's very important for a startup entrepreneur?
I think these days, even without the days, it's very key that you register your idea, you register your business. Take ownership. Then whatever you want to do, because that will help you in person. If you help you in person, whoever is coming in to partner with you or to support your ideas would have known that this thing have a bedrock. Oh, this thing it has a government approved, it has a registration, this number, all the view. But nevertheless, you still need to get it registered.
So I also think that some of us go and say you cannot apply for them
without being registered. Even these days, you can't get POS without not having it registered.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if they are doing Magomago as well, but when you want to get your POS, they will ask you for certificate.
I understand that if you want to open open a business account to, they need a business certificate too for that.
Sure.
So it means that whatever business you want to run today, you need to get it registered. And that way, your business will be a legal entity separated from you. And people who come in, even people that want to
Those that you
invest
want,
in your business,
they will have confidence.
yeah, they will have confidence in you that you have a registered business. All right, so now that we've come to the end of the show for today, do you have advice for entrepreneurs out there or business owners or people who have ideas but are yet to put their ideas to use? What would be your advice for them?
My number one idea for everyone out there is that you will be nothing without God. Because he told us in his word, he said it clearly. He said, seek the kingdom first, and every other thing that we are running after will be added to it. Actually, that was where Blessed General came from. That's why you see me when I'm busy, I'll just I'll just excuse work and move for service, for church service. Because that is dead. He said it clearly. Seek the kingdom first. You want to get high, you will have it. You want to get fat, you will have it. You want to be rich, you will have it. You want to be president, so far you seek the kingdom, you will surely. How do you seek the kingdom? You must be born again. You must be Christ-like. People must see that, oh, that's a child of God. Nevertheless, they will persecute you. They will talk rubbish about you, but nevertheless, you know who you are serving.
All right. So you heard it from him. You need to put God first. Seek his kingdom. And like I said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Do you desire to be rich? Seek first the kingdom of God. Do you desire to excel in your business? Seek first the kingdom of God. Do you desire to be successful in anything that you lay your hands upon? Seek first the kingdom of God. And so that will be all on our show for today. And it's been a beautiful discussion here with Mr. Odusin. I'm excited that people at home to have learned one or two things from this discussion today, the entrepreneurial process. And next week on our show, we'll be discussing something very important too. And until I come your way again next week, same time on the show, I still remain your host, Onele James Oyemichi, and don't stop watching Triple H TV. Thank you.
With the way the economy of Nigeria is, jobs are becoming scarce and appetites are increasing by the day. If you don't have a skill or means of making an extra income without depending on the government, you are wrong. With the rise of young entrepreneurs in our country, we can remain hopeful and encouraged by their stories and implement practical lessons learned from them. We are here again with turning your skill into cash. Entrepreneurship Hour. Don't go anywhere.